Hey guys, so I've already walked you through some of the free tools that you have to identify and find influencers. Now I'm going to give you my top recommendation of a paid tool. And this, hands down, is the best discovery tool. There's plenty other tools out there that I won't name that are great CRMs. They're great campaign managers. They're great for paying influencers, etc., etc. This, for my money, was the best discovery tool that we've identified and used at Kinship. So I'm going to walk you through Tagger. This will be basically, picture this like a sales call for Tagger, except I have no financial interest in getting you guys on Tagger. But if you are going to spend money on Tagger, I would definitely, or on an influencer discovery tool, I would definitely recommend Tagger. So simply for its discovery. So we're going to go to discovery. You'll see this is very robust. This is almost 6 million profiles that they're pulling into their system. These influencers aren't opting in. There's no financial motivation for them to be a part of Tagger, but Tagger software is pulling in 6 million profiles. So obviously from the jump, a very large pool. And we'll just go through each of these one by one. It's going to have all major platforms on here. Basically, you can toggle if they have TikTok accounts that already nails it down. Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. For now, we can just focus on Instagram. Let's just say we're going to 150K. Let's say it's above 5,000. Okay. I want an engagement rate of at least 1%. Audience, let's say I have a fitness brand and I'm a female apparel brand. So I want their audience to be at least 70% female. Location, I don't care. Demographic similarity. That would just be basically if you want the brand or the influencer's demographic to be similar to yours. So let's say, if I'm Lululemon, I'd want it to be similar to Lululemon. And we'll just go for that for sake of example. Profile, individuals, females. Now, this is where you can play around with a bunch of different filters. If you want us to be specifically in the sports fitness, sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes Tagger miscategorizes people. So you're not going to get everyone in here. So usually we'll leave this off. Location, again, no real preference on location. Affinity, so this multiple signals, hashtag usage, at mentions, share commonality. So if you had another influencer that you wanted to be shared an affinity with, maybe your hero influencer, this person crushes it for you. Let's just go for the sake of example of last time. We want similar people that are posting similar things to Elise. So this already drops down to 1.6 thousand. So, but you don't always have to do that. Brand safety, really, you can toggle on and off as well as playing with that. Sometimes it misidentifies things that aren't safe, like NSFW, things of that nature. But usually leave it off. This is keywords. This is something that you can actually play with a ton. So if I wanted women that have been mentioning their leggings, to mention that, date range maybe in the past 90 days, and it's all in their content, not in their bio, and it's specifically on Instagram. I'm going to look at that. Okay. So more filters. These really you can play around with as well, but just to review, between 550,000, minimum engagement rate of 1%, audience female 70% or above. Obviously, you can play with these. I want a specific platform on Instagram. That's already kind of been identified. Age, not particular on age, but you can get specific. Age 34 to, and this is their audience, right? Not them specifically. Race, language, all those sorts of things. This is where you can get specific on category. Affinity, if you want same affinity as your brand or another influencer. Keywords, right? So this is where you can go in. So now we've narrowed some things down. Okay, so let's go to Aggie. And now we can just go directly to her Instagram profile by clicking on that link, or I can click on her tagger profile, and this is going to give me a ton of information on her specifically. Analytics, this is where you can see her growth rate, her most engaged content, audience demographics, affinity, individuals they talk about, that's who they would be mentioning. Analytics, this is where I can compare the profile to Lulu, if we're Lululemoning in this example. 87% similar audience. I can also look at her content health. So this is going to give me, compared to the complete averages, her best performing content, content count in the last 90 days, time between publication. So if she posts every day and a half, which is really good. Mentions, affinity, content, this is where you can see everything. Some of these other filters we don't necessarily pay for. You can add to a campaign. You can export a PDF. That's obviously very beneficial. We do that at scale. There's also, let me move myself here, authentic followers analysis. So this is going to give basically an analysis of her follower count. Sometimes it takes a while, so you can either hit the refresh button, and this is where you'll see it. So 50% of our audience is actually fake. So if you guys are doing organic campaigns, obviously you want to be focusing on her. If she's going to be producing a lot of content, this is where it would be beneficial to work with her. So now let's go into analyzing some of her content. We can look at her story highlights. We can see if this is a brand aesthetic, all these different things, right? We can take this into account. But this is the general overview of Tagger. Obviously, you want to get to a point where you can narrow these things down to a list that's reasonable, but even 1,000 or below is reasonable, and being able to identify influencers at scale. This will give you a great idea. As you can play with these different filters, you can narrow the list. You can sort it differently too. So relevance, you can by audience size, by growth rate, by followers. So this person has the largest overall audience with a huge YouTube channel, pretty big Instagram, Facebook as well, so 2.2 in total. That is Tagger.